on the different mode and the ticket in the color changing. Your Shiva Om.
क्या कर रहे फ्यूचर बना के रह जाएगा
India first time.
Sometimes I'll go to the West and the question will be, tell me about your life in India. Or I could ask you, tell me about your life. When I was a child growing up in America, actually when I was more a teenager in America, America was in a state of a lot of turmoil because on one hand, there was a lot of prosperity, there was a lot of affluence. Certain people, during times of affluence, they start to look around them and see and try and find a benefit for that affluence. And they look around and they see that even in the middle of affluence, there's a lot of suffering. And a lot of suffering is sort of covered up. So as a teenager in America, I started to have a lot of questions about things. And I found that I couldn't find teachers, authorities. I couldn't find a tradition to sort of hook into to get the answers to my questions. And I got the feeling that I would have to travel the world, search the world, and understand about the world and understand about different peoples to find the answers to my questions. And I was interested in finding an old culture. I wanted to know how things were many years ago. And I knew very little about India. So I slowly went from America to Europe, spent a little time in Europe and went across overland through the Middle East to India. In those days, there were no guidebooks. There was no internet. There was no Google where you could find out information about where do you stay in Kandahar, Afghanistan, and so forth. But what would happen is that you would meet people. People would be coming back from the east. People would be going towards the east. And we would keep notebooks. And we would ask people, well, what's happening in Tehran? What's happening in Isfahan? What about Quetta in Pakistan, or Kandahar, Mazar-e Sharif? Where are the interesting places to visit in Afghanistan, for example? And all this would go into our notebooks. And the notebooks would grow. And we'd find out about interesting places. And by the time I arrived in India, then names of people and babas and gurus would go into the notebooks, and temples, fantastic temples, signatures of nature would go into the notebook. And this became the basis of the journey, of the search in India. It became eventually a search in secret India.
Ekat bujai loitam suklam Krishna janani sarupa jaganima sandhi jayanti mai manglamadeni tu myani pushpani manoharani surasana dalvani golpadrama subhadani pusandani mastakinitam nana sugandhi pushpani yathagalvani ja mantra pushpanjali namaskandi grahana Sri Navadurga grahanam Parameswari.
I practice in every day in my daily life. Hatha yoga, some postures, this is called asana, and some pranayama every day, and some meditations. This all the program is depend on power of pranayama. This sharp bayonet I keep on the iron rod fixed, keep like this. Then this sharp bayonet, sharp point I keep on the my eyes. Then slowly I will take the breath and slowly I will try to bend to iron rod. This is the bayonet and this is a very sharp point. Okay?
The first principle, the first limb of Patanjali, in a non-linear sense, is this yam, which is a restriction. It's a containment. Niyam are the ways that one lives one's life. And that's not based on a moral consideration, because morality is very much in the idea realm. Then you have the third thing. You have asana. When Patanjali lists as his third limb asana, that he is referring to the asanas that we talk about today, which I see as the sitting. Sitting for how long? Sitting for as long as it takes, right? It may mean sitting for 100 years. It might mean sitting for 10 minutes, but the sitting. You have to be able to sit. The third thing is pranayama. But the pranayama of Patanjali is the breathing. Each breath. The measuring of each breath. This is pranayama. The awareness of each breath. This is pranayama. Then we have the pratyahara, which is the withdrawal. The next of the limbs is the dharan. One has withdrawn from one's senses in a disciplined sense, sitting with measured conscious breathing. One is covered in that state. And being in that state, the mind is completely focused, which is called dhyan or dhyana. The eighth limb of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga is the samadhi, where everything comes together in a whole. This is not a prescription. This is not Patanjali saying, well, if you do this and this and this, if you do yam, niyam, asana, pranayama, etc., then you're going to be enlightened. That's not what Patanjali is doing. He is not prescribing. He is describing. Some people have to spend their entire lives practicing and practicing, and they never get it. So there's all different kinds of situations. There's no one way.
तपः स्वाध्याय ईश्वर प्रणिधान यम नियम आसना प्राणायाम प्रत्याहार धारणा ध्यान समाधि अष्टांग वाणी. This is the proper practice of yoga.
These days people are inventing new kinds of yoga every day.
Many people just misconcept.
They can call themselves whatever they want.
European people is misconcept. Yoga means just a exercise.
Different people in the West have different definitions and understandings of what is yoga.
This is not a gym, this is not a physical exercise, this is the spiritual science.
And the asanas outside of the context of an Indian tradition people would not think of that person as a yogi in an Indian tradition.
No word of the modern yoga.
But in the West, anything goes. You can redefine things how you wish.
For the sleeping, for the eating, for the toilet, you cannot use the word modern ways.
Legs behind the head and all of this. This is something a little bit different.
This is my personal thoughts. Thank you. Good.
The question is, can we in the West understand India? And I think this is very, very difficult for people in the West to understand India. Because we have a many centuries old habit of assuming the authority to represent another culture, to represent the knowledge of another culture. And we have created our own categories, our ways of understanding the world. So what we have to do is we have to take the information we get from another culture and put it into our carefully constructed categories. So it's very difficult for us from the West objectively see a culture like India.
мне откроет двери в мир иной и будет трогать мои волосы. Я уйду туда, куда так легок путь, и, видимо, там лучше, чем у нас сейчас. Но кто-то милосердный вернется вдруг, чтоб забрать всех нас. последний раз в поисках себя. И не найдя искать, будем среди звезд, греюсь у огня. И посмотрю на небо я внимательно, посмотрю в глаза небу синему. Все, чего достигла в знании своем, станет мое тело осиною. Станет мое тело осиною. Суета сожмет вновь свои тиски, и только красота настоящего спасет меня от тоски. Ветер вновь коснется моего лица, и я пойму, что больше ничего и нет. Лишь этот ветер до рассвета.
Tantra, mantra and yantra. In our body 7 chakra. When we start to chant to mantra, then he mantra, he effect to my chakra. He get to them energy to my chakra in my body. And yantra is one kind of technique. Understand to me? Like this smoking chilam. He hitting to your kundalini. When you smoking full, then he hitting to your kundalini. Om Namah Shivaya. It's mean, oh Shiva, saluto to you. Naga means you born naked, you going naked, like a child. Soul plus great soul. Who is a great soul? God is a great soul. And we are soul, normal soul, Atma.
This Atma, this soul, is not died. It is always alive. At that moment when you are leaving this body, at that moment, what the idea is in you, you will get that shape. न जायते मृते वा कदाचित नायम भूत्वा भविता वा न भूय. Like the cloth, just this cloth old, you leave this cloth, take new cloth. So this Atma, this soul, just leave this body and take another one, like the cloth.
Ночью день сменяя, его кровью бежит река, питая мир, говорит с нами тишиной и наблюдает Ганга. О, Ганга.
This attachment has tied you, that is rope has tied you. When you break this attachment, you will be detached from everything.
This illusion is called Maya.
You have to detach, not attach. Just live very simple life. It is not difficult, very easy. You are free. Just you be a man, natural man. It is your real findings. You don't be God, you don't be sadhu. Just you be what you are.
Once one finds some benefit from some attribute of Indian culture, to stop there. And my advice is don't stop there. There's lots more behind that. And to refrain from making conclusions, refrain from stopping yourself, but keeping an open mind, I would go deep into the exploration of Indian culture, and I think that you can find great benefit from that.
But how can you call them book people if they don't do anything against the law?
They are books. Each one, men and women, everyone, commits a book they've chosen to memory, and they become the books. Books, 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 books.
Around the Indian philosophy, Om.